So a
We
lot of
are.
fun and interesting projects, and thank you for having me tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. We are
Thank you for coming
officially.
on.
Let me hold on. Let me fix this background real quick. Oh, that's not the background I need to
Yes,
move.
you're white because this is so close. I think that's part of it.
And
Let me see if I can keep it up.
wait, why is that background not? Oh, because it's locked. That's why. There we go. All right, everything is looking nice. We are officially on Twitch right now. Let me tweet it out. Do you have a Twitter?
I do, but I don't manage it. I don't know. I mean, I have people doing that for me. I think I have the password here somewhere, but I've never went on it personally myself.
Okay. Do you know what the name on it is? Is it at Soho
Oh, I
Johnny?
have a few. Yes, yes. We just did the. Well, let's see. The SohoJohnny one is the Let Me Help one, and I do know the name of both of them. I should anyway. So let's look at this on Twitter. Well, the SohoJohnny LLC at gmail.com is one account. We're going to be talking a lot about the foundation tonight, the show, because that's imminent. Info at letmehelp.org. So I guess maybe that's the one we should put on for tonight. Usually I would use SohoJohnny.
Okay.
If you're going to pick one, info at letmehelp.org. Did you find it?
Let me see. Which one is it?
Info at letmehelp. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, this is what they gave me. I don't know if they screwed up. Info at letmehelp.org, but I think that it's info at letmehelpinc.org.
Well, that would be. But do you have like a Twitter handle that I can tag you in? Like,
I don't know what that is offhand. I apologize.
okay, I'll just put with Soho Johnny on here, and because I looked up at Soho Johnny, but I don't think that's you.
No, SohoJohnny LLC at gmail.com is my account. Um, I know I have one, but I don't manage that particular one, so I apologize. I don't have that. I could find out in a minute. I'm just about to go on the air, but
Yeah, I can't find it. That's fine. I'll retag it later if you find it
if
whenever I post the episode.
the answer will be golden.
All right, everything looks good on Twitch. How are you doing, Jacob?
Pretty shitty.
Why?
I don't know, just a bunch of bullshit with booking
I'm
comedy and
about
all
to
that.
start a show. They're asking me for my Twitter handle name on Twitter. My public name on Twitter. I guess you can give it at SohoJohnny. At Let Me Help Inc. At Let Me Help INC. At Let Me Help INC. See if that works.
Yep, I found it.
You found it?
Yep.
Excellent.
Excellent. Okay.
All right.
Well, I'll call you back if anything else. I've got to make sure I have the right ones on my phone. I didn't know that. All right. Thank you, Mike.
All right. All right. I'm pretty much ready to go if you guys are.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
We don't have an ad read or anything to do right now, do we?
Nope, no ad read.
Alrighty. Well, I will get us started in 3, 2, 1. Oh, it is Thursday night, and you know what that music means. It is the Open Micers Podcast with me, your host, Jason Robbins, and
me, your other host, Jacob Craig. And our guest tonight is the one and only Mr. SohoJohnny. He is a musician from New York. Please give him a warm welcome. Mr. SohoJohnny, how are you doing today?
Thank you, gentlemen, for having me on the show tonight. There's
You're
a lot
very
of
welcome.
energy in the air, and we rise above.
So how's the
Yes,
vibe
sir.
in New York right now?
Well, it's we're trudging along here in New York like everything else. We got a black eye earlier in the year, as everyone knows, with our wonderful pandemic, but we're very, very vigilant, and it's always a matter of dealing with the facts, not the fear,
Yeah.
and just being safe, and trying to keep it real here, and just trying to get back to some variance semblance of what business was before. People still have to make livings and go forward, and I think we're doing, in the big picture, fairly well, and I'm so happy to know that.
That's good. Yeah, I was planning on taking a trip up there in December because I have some friends that live in New Jersey and right outside of New York. But with COVID going on, I don't know if it's worth making the trip right now. I might have to wait till the weather warms up a little bit in the spring. Hopefully, if COVID's finally gone by then.
Well, everyone has different risk tolerances for this type of stuff. It's like anything else. It's just common sense must prevail. If you have any medical issues pre-existing, you want to have more caution than the average bear, right? So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate, but nobody wanted this pandemic to happen. But there's a silver lining to it, and that I think that it just created a sense of appreciation of life, which is a big part of my platform, SohoJohnny.com.
Yeah, it definitely makes you appreciate being able to see friends and family and go out and do things. And when you can't do that anymore, it's like, man, I don't want to sit at home for 8, 9 months, man. I just can't do it. I need to see people. I gotta press hands. It's like I hate not getting out there in the world. We can a little bit, but it's not. I don't know. It's not like it was. It needs to. Just so tired of being indoors.
Well, listen, it's truly a battle of the bulge and a battle of the mind, right? The
Yep.
mind must conquer all and rise above. And I tell people while we're going through this, forget what's going on. Just put your daytime routine on a structure as if this was the new normal for the time being. Put some time into some healthy exercise. The body demands and needs exercise. It's meant to be moving around. A body in motion stays in motion in the morning, and spend a certain amount of time working on whatever you can work on to be productive. Certain amount of time for family, friends, loved ones, or whatever you have. And social distancing is not social isolation in my world, and it should be in everyone's world. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. It's a matter of outreach. It's about being there, putting a smile on someone else's faces. These are trying times, but I believe in the spirit of humanity.
Yeah. So tell us a little about yourself. Like tell for the people that don't know who you are, kind of tell them about what you do and what your foundation does.
Well, I think I'll take a step back and I'll just talk a little bit about the Advent. I'm just a regular guy like anyone else behind a desk in New York City. But SohoJohnny is .com, or SohoJohnny is a platform that started. I have 4 generations of my family coming in and immigrating to the States in Soho area of New York City in Manhattan. My grandfather was a poor guy. He came and just put some shekels on the table for whatever we do. My father, and they built a trucking business, and into the 60s and 70s and 80s. And I eventually, when I lived with them, I lived in a large complex called Stuyvesant Town, built by MetLife back in the day. Then my parents moved to Parkchester, which was a sister complex in the Boogie Down Bronx. And my parents eventually bought a house, and there was a garage in the backyard. And I had this seed of entertainment. I was the practical joker as a kid. I used to stutter as a kid, believe it or not, very nervous kid, or whatever the case may be, like many people. But I made a difference to try to rise above it and become more articulate. And in this garage, for some reason, because I had that, I was kind of that person. I mean, back in the late 60s, early 70s, the Boogie Down Bronx had gangs and everything. It's a little different as it is today. And so like I was kind of wearing colors during the street, just kind of making believe, but I was also an honor student and I kind of pulled off that duality and, it was fairly popular. So all the kids around late grammar school and high school, they kind of gravitated to my parents' garage in the back. And what was I doing? I had black lights, strobe lights, and I had rock music, which is now our classic rock music playing. So fast forward for that, I just loved, entertaining and, making people smile. And I did some family reunions, and I went forward from that. And I did started getting involved with fundraisers over 26 years ago. My dad died from cancer, so I started doing fundraisers and shows for American Cancer Society. And I had so much love from the audience and so much the artists that come to support me to this day are so wonderful. And fast forward again, I'm hop, skipping, and jumping around here with my life. I was involved in real estate in the 80s, 90s, and whatever, and peprealestate.com, and I would provide spaces for pop-ups or events or whatever the case may be, and properties that old properties that my family had, and of course regular commercial leasing. But what happened is I lost my dad to cancer over 26 years ago. And that's part of what catapulted me to try to do something in his name, make a difference, because cancer affects all of us in some manner, shape, or form. And I did fundraisers for American Cancer Society or other like-kinded events.
Yeah.
Now, I'll take another big step forward, because we were all talking about the pandemic and COVID. And by the way, I've had so many doors opened up to me in my career, artist, and I am performing my own music and some acting now, and but mainly producing shows now, just growing bigger and bigger. But I lost my mom earlier this year. I was blessed to have her for 93 years old. Yes, of course. Thank you for your condolences, everyone out there. Thank you. Of course, I'm in mourning like all of us, but we all must count our blessings. There's always people less fortunate than us. I lost her to COVID. It was very, very quick. It was at a horrible time when you can't even go to the hospital. I couldn't see her in the retirement home because of the contagion and everything. And so my heart goes out. So in her name, I already had this on the shelf. I had founded a foundation called LetMeHelpInc.org last year. And I had it on the shelf, and then I just put it back to the forefront. I'm doing my first show now with a lot of support, beautiful people, Eileen Shapiro, John Valesco, Jimmy Starr, Ron Russell, and Jimmy Starr. So many people know them, and so many different artists that have come to support me. So what we ended up doing is, of course, we're not doing a live show. Normally it would be a live show. We're doing a 6-hour marathon virtual show on November 24th. That's the Tuesday night right before Thanksgiving. We chose that time because it's a time of giving thanks, despite everything that people are going through. We're still, there's always somebody less fortunate. And it's a Tuesday night before Thanksgiving. We didn't do Wednesday because Wednesday, a lot of people may step out because, of course, Thursday's the holiday, right?
Yeah.
So it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time, to 1 a.m. It's a 6-hour show. Wow. Where we have so many from all around the world. It's an international show of actors and performers that have come to support us, and the list goes on. There's a 4 hours. We had to expand it to 6. Then we just had to shut the door, which I hate to do, but people were just jumping on board, and I'm so blessed. The segment of the show was co-hosted by my buddy, another talented guy, Andrew Cole. Hashtag I am no joke. He's the anti-bullying charity part of the project, because we have multifaceted purposes here in charities. COVID research is the other one. And of course, prostate cancer, which is one of the leading causes of death in men around the world.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to see it, you are going to be live streaming it on iConcert.tv.
iConcert.tv is where it's going to be, everybody. Again, November 24th. And we're going to have a hell of a time. I mean, how blessed am I? I'm so thankful. It's not about me, but I feel blessed to be able to do this because I'm having a ball. And these are such great artists. And, music, I always say, is the tie that binds. The breath of love is spoken in the language of music expression.
Absolutely.
It's so true. It comes from the passion within all of us, especially having a light in it during this tunnel that we're all going through. Shout out to you, Jason and Jacob, for your show, for what you're doing, because you guys are a light in the tunnel too, for what you're doing during these times. It's just very simple things, just entertainment or just making people smile.
That's what we're trying to do here. Keep people
Yeah.
sane. But I
Exactly.
just wanted to bring up some of the people you got that's going to be at the event. You got Fred Schneider from the B-52s,
Sure.
Susie Quattro, actor Leon Robinson, bass player Leland Sklar, Kenny Lee Lewis of Steve Miller Band, Scream Queen Sadie Katz and Lorene Landon. You got Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction, one of my favorite
Okay.
drummers. Um, you see, you got Kim Sledge from Sister Sledge, and more names to be revealed soon. So that's a pretty good lineup you got going into
Oh
the
yeah.
show.
Again, what a trip. What a journey it's been for me, and just having all these people. With Andrew Cole's help from hashtag I Am No Joke Anti-Bullying, we got special appearances by Jeff Goldblum, Sir Patrick Stewart, and
Wow.
Cedric the Entertainer. I mean, the list goes on. So it's going to be, it's a free show. It's all about donating on letmehelpinc.org.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter what you donate or who you are. We appreciate anything. No donation is too small. And they're putting a lot of love into the project. So in their name, and certainly gratitude for me, again, it's not about it's not about you, it's about we all the time. If we do nothing, then nothing gets done.
Yeah.
So let's try and let's rise above everything that's happening around us. Everybody wants to get back to some sense of normalcy, but one thing will always be sure: there's always going to be a need for entertainment and mixing it up.
Oh, yeah.
We're just wired that way. I really believe it, and I talk about passion with these artists that perform. A lot goes into it. I mean, these artists, especially these A-listers that are on tour, it's a lot to always be able to have to put your A game on stage. That's the measure of a true artist. Doesn't matter if you pulled your back, you had a fight with your spouse, anything happens. They're human beings just like all of us, but they're giving back in this show. And I
Yeah.
think that's so special. That's what really gives them, that's what really elevates them in my mind to that celebrity status.
Hey. Well, if I was a little bit closer, I would definitely attend the show and try to snake my way on stage and play drums for a bit if I could.
We'd love to have you, Jason. We'd love to have you.
Well, next time I'm up
Listen,
that way, I'll have
we
to
may
look you
have a
up.
couple. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I was just saying, next time I'm up that way, I'll have to look you up, and we'll have to go have a beer or something.
Please give me a shout. It would be all my pleasure.
Absolutely.
I mean, last year we did. We'll talk about some shows now. I think the audience would love it. Last year I did American Cancer Society, and I did a 12-hour. I guess you want to call it a festival. And the genre of music really was mostly classic disco. And well, listen, after I was brought up in the city, Boogie Down Bronx,
Hey,
so I
ain't
love
nothing wrong with
classic
that.
rock, classic disco, classic R&B, freestyle. I mean, I'm all about all of that, just like so many of the audience. Now, listen, it doesn't matter what type of music you like, okay? It all's what you have within. And it's just, the magic of music is that it could just take you in a time warp. And you could feel as if you're sitting in a chair in the car with your first kiss or the crush you had on somebody when you're younger. It just takes you back when you first sat down in front of the TV well, it depends on how old you are. I'm dating myself. I remember the first moonwalk, probably before color TV in 1969. But music takes you back to that moment, takes you back to that feeling, and I think it's so wonderful because that music is a companion that follows us throughout our life. So getting back to the show, it was last August, and again, for cancer, it came out in droves for us. We had to turn people away. I had people like uh, I had Denny Terrio. Okay, we know him from Dance Fever. He taught John Travolta how to dance on Saturday Night Fever, and
Really?
he was co-hosting with me. Love Denny. We had disco bands: Tavares, Heat Wave, Double Exposure, Instant Funk, Planet Patrol. Uh, Geez, I don't want to forget anybody. We had Fonda Ray, Sharon Brown, Leroy Gomez gave me a call from Santa Esmeralda. Don't let me be misunderstood. Um, we had a couple of tributes. I I had Danny Clay, who did a kick-ass tribute to Luther Vandross, Robert Barco, fantastic rendition of the late George Michael. And I call him my Mr. Magnificent. I love him. The Senior Statements, one of the kings, the original kings of disco, Monty Rock III. He was the DJ in Saturday Night Fever. He's so flamboyant. I speak to him all the time. And he came for his great hit, Get Dancing, with discotheques in the sex or less. My chiffon is wet, my wig is wet. We mixed it up a little bit. We had Constantine Morellis came to support. Of course, he's not disco, but we all know him from Rock of Ages, and he's got a fantastic voice. He sang some Journey for us. Geez, who am I forgetting? I mean, as if that's not enough.
Oh, I won't lie. I rock some
Jimmy
disco.
Bullhorn. Jimmy Bullhorn. Jimmy Bullhorn. Is it in? Is it in your heart, baby? Is it in?
Oh yeah.
And spank. And spank. Spank. Do 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 spank. Okay, I'm a little bit
Ain't
off
nothing
key.
wrong with rocking some disco these days. I go back and I love the Boogie Nights soundtrack.
Oh yeah, Boogie Nights. Who's that? That's Boogie Nights. It's Cool in the Gang.
Jacob wouldn't know about any of that. He's only like 12, so.
Yeah, I'm a whole 13 years old.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Well, Jacob, thank you for having me as well over here. And we've got some young emerging artists too on the show as well. I mean, the majority of the show we're doing for Let Me Help on November 24th is we have emerging artists as well as seasoned performers that had, thousands of performances around the world, or actors and everything. And that's what makes it really cool. Okay, this is not just, this is a worldwide connectivity, if you will. And we're going to keep trudging along. We're going to keep trudging along and doing these type of shows and, tying fun with a noble cause and just celebrating life, as it were.
Well, if you ever do any shows and you need some comedians, me and Jacob know quite a few. We got a whole roster of comedians here along the Gulf Coast, spreading from New Orleans to, Pensacola, and all of us would love to travel. So if we got a gig in New York, we would be there in a hot second. It would be, you wouldn't even have to ask. You would just say, hey, you guys got to be here on this date, and we're there.
I love it. That would be more than my pleasure.
Yeah.
And comedy is a big part of it as well. We haven't had too many comedian acts, but we're definitely going in that direction. We got a variety show. I mean, I'll tell you a couple of interesting things that is in the coffers right now. Well, just a couple of months ago, we signed a deal with what a talented guy, Maurice Hamilton from the SMC Group. And basically what we're doing with our SohoJohnny platform is that emerging artists that, they're not superstars yet, we try to marry them to a multinational corporation to be like maybe the next poster child of Verizon or Coca-Cola. So we have a few that are gestating now, very few. We only want a few people. We don't want them too big. We just want to, you want to get somebody when they have the passion and they got the hunger and they're just ready to go. And, this would be great for all parties, be great for them and great for the corporation. So we're kind of like the linchpin in putting that together. We have we're working on something on Broadway in Manhattan because Broadway shut it up too. I can't get too much into it now, except that it's something that's going to be a fundraiser to bring more supplies to the educational system there in the city.
Yeah. Because,
everything's on a budget there for them to go into the arts, the theatrical arts. And I've got performers that are working. I've got a show, Broadway Cares, that's in the works now. That should be sometime next year.
How long is Broadway going to be shut down for? They announced they were going to be shut down till what, next summer, I think?
I don't know the answer to that, but it's like there's so much you could say about governmental regulations, and the restaurants, of course, is suffering. The real balance is the real enemy is not. It's just a disease, right? So it's a measurement. Even if the government opens everything up, not everybody's going to go out, and there's two sides. This is a big controversy that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
On one side you have people saying the government is taking too much of our freedom away, hurting businesses. On the other side, they're trying to say, well, what's the only way to save lives? Because individuals don't have the discipline enough, in different factions, individuals will just go out and they'll have a party and they can spread this disease, and there's still people doing
That's the
so,
key word right there is discipline. People
exactly. Wouldn't it be
don't
great if
have
we
it.
could draw? Wouldn't it be? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
Oh, that's
Jason.
okay.
Wouldn't it be great if we all could have that discipline? Wouldn't it be great? But there's all
Absolutely.
different viewpoints, outlooks, and some people don't have all the facts. We have to deal with the facts, not the fiction and not the fear.
Hmm.
And if we all were rational and looked at it that way, things would be a little bit different. And also making up with a positive attitude to being kind to your fellow man or woman out there that you meet on the street. But let's see, what else do we have cooking here? Oh, Mike Viscera and Animazix. Okay, how about a metal group, fantastic, coming in. We're going to do children's shows. Okay,
That
I
sounds
love that,
awesome.
right?
You're
So we're
talking
gonna
Selling
metal.
metal to the kids.
That's right up my alley right there.
But so listen, what else do we have going on? I didn't take my script because I'm at a different location now, and I get my senior parts, my senior moments like everyone else here.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jason does too. It's okay.
Yeah, I have them on stage. Actually, we've had a few shows where I forget my punchlines, and my girlfriend actually has to scream them out from the back of the room. That's actually happened.
Hey, listen, we're all human. We're all here. To be human is to err, and it's okay. That's what makes us beautiful, right? It's like it's our difference coming together that could create beauty. That's the spectrum of the rainbow, right? All different colors. So yeah, I mean, a lot of different things that are. I mean, I get things all the time coming to me, and artists
Mhm.
that to promote or to work along lines. But I always try to put some type of noble, charitable purpose because I truly believe for all of us, that's what's going to elevate us at the end. Okay. That's really,
Yeah.
I mean, money and business, it's all a tool. It's a necessary tool. That's our system to get by, right?
Oh yeah.
But, and I don't get into religion. I respect everyone's beliefs. But, even for the people, even the person that's an atheist doesn't believe this is common sense ethics of humanity, right? Just outreach and helping somebody else. For whatever you can. We're all role models to each other. Doesn't matter what you have or what you have or what you look like. You could be walking down the street and, you know, make a difference on somebody. If we all did something in a positive way, it's just like a million ripples that coincide that can make a tidal wave, right? It's all about community.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely. And anything you want to add, Jacob? I've been kind of hogging the
Yeah.
hogging our
So,
guests. I'm sorry.
in true open micros fashion, Jason hogs the biggest guests we can get on. Jason talks their ears off.
I can't help
But
it, man.
it's okay, buddy. I still love you. I just want to say thank you, man. Like, thank you for putting together these huge events for charity,
Hmm.
just to raise money, just to help people. And you're putting together 12-hour shows, 6-hour shows. It's hard to put together a 2-hour show.
I know.
Like,
Uh,
what are you having to do? What goes into putting together
well,
these massive shows?
Jacob, that's an excellent question. You're right. A lot of people don't realize how much work that goes into these shows. And you always, I guess I'm a perfectionist because I want everything to go off without a hitch. Because when I do these shows, I'm animated. If anybody's been to my show, they know I'm one of the performers. I can't help myself. I have the passion. I'm performing or singing along with Tavares or Jimmy Bohorn, or I love these songs. It doesn't matter because it's just a matter of just getting people. And then when you do that, you have that connection. I mean, the work that goes into it, it's a matter of scheduling and making sure that everybody knows exactly what their piece is and everything. But when I'm doing it when charity is involved, it's the secret sauce. It's the magical ingredient because things come up. And the artists that come to my show, I treat them like family. I treat them like royalty. I said, you guys are not here just to perform and to work. You guys are here. You're my guests,
Yeah.
right? I got a big spread of food. Just make yourself at ease. Whatever I can do to help you, because we're here, especially for any type of charitable cause. We're all here for a common goal, right? It's all about the team. All about the team. But yeah, I mean, the stress goes into it. I'm not going to say it doesn't. Sometimes I say, oh my God, we're at the end here. We didn't do this, but I forgot this, whatever. But it's like riding a bike. The more you do it, the more you get used to it, and it's about it just being very, very organized. All right. And
Yeah.
that's just doing one show. Imagine, that's what I said earlier, going on a tour and doing multiple shows and going on the on the bandwagon and going out there. That's another trip. I mean,
Absolutely.
I put a, I remember like the telethon that the late great Jerry Lewis did. My God, I think it was cerebral palsy what he did.
Yeah.
He gave back so much. That guy. I remember when I was younger,
I used
and
to watch
so that's a little
those.
bit of analogy of what this show is. I mean, I'll be plugging it along the way, introducing a lot of these wonderful people that have come to support. But it's all about donations. People just in support of them watching. It's a free show. We're not charging at a time where I think it's resonates with everybody. To donate. I mean, let me help inc.org and SohoJohnny.com. I mean, all these, we're on YouTube, Instagram, all of the normal suspects here. But we're very confident that we're going to have a certain amount of success with this show. And it's just the first of many.
It sounds like it's going to be a great show. Like I said, if I was closer, I would definitely be there. I'd be there in a heartbeat. Man, you brought back so many memories when you talked about the Jerry Lewis telethon. Like I
Sure.
get exhausted, just walking upstairs to my bedroom, much less being like if I had to be on a telethon for how many hours did he used to do that for like
Oh, I don't remember. I remember going to sleep and waking up and I'm seeing
yeah.
his eyes bulging out, still walking around. I don't know. It could have been. I think it could have been at least maybe as much as 2 days.
Yeah. I remember it would be like 48 hours. And by the second end of the second day, he's like, the shirt's open, the ties hanging. He's just like, I don't care who's up next. Like, he's done by that point.
I know, but look at the inspiration he created.
Oh, yeah.
People, all these performers would come out, and a lot of them he didn't even know were going to show up. They show up. Oh, Dean Martin's downstairs,
Hmm.
or some of these great crooners, Frank Sinatra, or Jackie Gleason. Going, no, I'm dating myself now, or maybe Gladys Knight, or whatever. Whoever would just show up at his doorstep, just do a performance, no matter what it is, okay? Or it could be a comedian,
Yeah.
just to have a little snippet on the show and to help promote the cause. So, great, great man.
Yeah. Absolutely. I miss those. I used to sit at my grandma's house and watch those when I was a kid. It was like the Memorial Day, wasn't it? Like the Memorial Day
Yes,
marathon or
it was.
something
I
like
think
that.
actually, I think it was Labor Day. I'm
Labor.
thinking.
It was
Well, no,
Labor.
it could be Memorial Day. For some reason, Labor Day
It
is
was one of
Labor Day.
those. It was the whole telethon was all weekend long, and just sit there and watch the whole thing. We'll go to sleep with this on, wake up the next morning, still on. Could you do it, Jacob? Could you?
Absolutely not. I get I get tired doing 30-minute sets. After a 30-minute set, I'm like, man, I gotta sit down,
Oh
have
So
yeah,
some Diet Coke.
was it Quimby,
yeah.
the 10-minute platform.
But I hate to do this, but we're coming up on the end of our Zoom meeting, and man, Johnny, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'll put as many of the links in the show notes as I can to this show. This episode, we're going live to Twitch right now, but the actual podcast will be out Saturday morning. So as soon as it goes out, I'll put all the links in the show notes, so everybody can find the concert, where they can donate, all that kind of stuff. And
Uh,
thank you for what you're
thank you.
doing, man.
Thank you
It's
from the heart. I mean, listen, I'm having a great time. It's not about me, but I'm having a great time. I'm performing. I'm doing a tribute song, "Precious and Few" now, an old Climax blues song, and a few other coming out. So I'm gonna, I'm having a great time. I mean,
yeah.
how blessed am I to be able to have a great time, do something noble, and I still have a day job. Everybody, this is not like I'm still a real estate guy here in
Yeah.
the city, and the pandemic affected me. Listen, I'm not, but I'm not going to cry about it. You just
Yeah.
rise above and you do what you just take care of business, do what you have to do, right? And I lost my mom, but I'm taking that energy, and I hope I'm inspiring other people out
Yeah.
there. because if you have a loss, and I'm not undermining anyone else that's suffering now. No, and by the way, anybody that has any noble causes, just pop us an email, info@letmehelpinc.org. We'll look into it. Give a shout. Okay, John at SohoJohnny.com. Give a shout. We're here. We're here. It's all about outreach.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, and you're such a good person, and so just out there doing good work, and I hope it inspires people. It's just nice to know that there's still good people out there in the world, because there's a lot going on this week in America, and you go on social media and it's like, man, I just don't know about anything anymore. And then come across somebody like you who is doing good work, cares about people, and that's what we need to do. We need to let our actions inspire others, and that's what's going to get us through all these dark times we're going through right now.
Right. It's just a commonality. It's a common denominator. Music, performance, entertainment for a good purpose, bringing people together without
Yes.
politics, diversity. At the end of the day, we all will find common grounds.
Yeah.
I'm the eternal optimist, and I think I think it's the correct way to be, because there's always a silver lining. One out of a terrible thing, there is one good thing that's coming out of this pandemic: a profound appreciation of life.
Yes.
I believe that people appreciate them. They've learned that working together more than ever from around the world. You see it all the time. We all want to get back to some sense of a normal life, and it's coming. There'll be some adjustments. People will be more health conscious than ever before.
Oh yeah.
And what's wrong with that? It's not a bad thing, okay? Health, cleanliness is next to godliness. I guess remember my mom used to say, but it's all good, and we'll overcome. And so my heartfelt thanks for having me on the show, to both you and Jacob, and for all those listening. Please remember tomorrow, try to start off your day with a smile, and just remember that someone else is suffering worse than you, and just try to just crack a joke or whatever you do. And please, please, if you find it within your heart, please show. It's a free show, November 24th. 7 p.m. New York time to 1 a.m. Join us. Please donate. Anytime donate. It's a 501c3 foundation, tax deductible charity. LetMeHelpInc.org.
Yes. It's letmehelpinc.org. You can do /donate to donate to that, or you can just go to SohoJohnny.com, and they've got all the links right there on the front page. And if you want to watch it, like we said before, it's being streamed on iConcert.tv. So any way you want to see it, you can get it. And just throw a little cash and help some people out. So, because we're all people, we're all human beings, we're all Americans, we're all Earthlings. Let's help each other out a little bit and make the world a bit of a nicer place for everybody.
And it comes back to you tenfold.
Absolutely. So, and thank you again for coming on the show. And Jacob,
Yes,
anything?
Thank you so much.
Anything you need to plug before we leave tonight?
Just that you should leave us a review wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. Support us on Patreon if you want to see us interview high-profile guests like Mr. SohoJohnny. And please, please, please donate to his cause.
Yes.
Donate to help relieve those affected by COVID-19, because we're not going to get through it if you don't.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
And if you do want to follow us on Patreon, we do, the extra episodes every month, and also it keeps the lights on here at the show, because the show's free for you. It's not free for us. We got to pay for it somehow. So if you want to throw us a buck or two, couple bucks a month, please head over to patreon.com/OM podcast. And fellas, we're going to call it a show. If you would like to email us, you can email us at openmikerspodcast@gmail.com. We are at Open Micers on Twitter and the Open Micers Podcast on Facebook. And that's going to do it for this week. And like we said on this show, everybody, be excellent to one another. That was an awesome show. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, guys.
And everybody who was watching on Twitch, thank you. We will be back in like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, we're gonna go get some food, and then we're gonna have a new guest on Twitch.
Jeffrey, what's his last name? Jeffrey Finnemore?
Finnemore.
All right, yeah, come back for Jeffrey Finnemore at 8 p.m. in about 20, 25 minutes. See you guys.